Welcome. I'm Dave.
And I am Zemeki.
And this is Shiny Side Out on WZZR, coming to you from Australia for Revolution Radio on freedomslips.com. Now, freedomslips.com is home to fresh, unfiltered ideas. That's probably the best way of putting it. And you can find those either in the chat room or on all of the host shows. And the website's also a great place to get your merch. Do that and let me know what you bought. You know, you can catch Freedom Slips, or Shiny Side Out for that matter, on air, online, and on your smart device. So grab an app so you can listen anywhere, or you can listen at home on a Grace Tabletop digital radio.
Radio.
If you missed Laris's show, you did miss out on a great show because she had today Steve Colburn, and well, initially they were talking about alien implants, and you know, with all great guests, you know, there's a lot of drift. So it was great. It was a great show. But you know, Laris always has a great show. Who am I kidding, Becky? I'm not kidding you, am I? I'm certainly not kidding.
I don't know, man. You're trying. I think you're trying, but it's not going to happen.
Well, according to my wife, I'm very trying. So
fool me once, kid me once. Shame on me, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that is shame on you is the next one, and then
Yes.
yeah. But you know what? You don't have to miss out on Solaris' shows or our shows, even if you're on holidays and you don't get an opportunity to listen. You know, or you've gone offline for a while, which is actually pretty good for the soul to go offline for a while. Yeah, unless I kind of like to try and do that when I go on holidays, but you know, yeah, who knew? Who knew, Mackie? 15 years ago, well, let's just go 20 years. Let's round it out, right? 20 years ago, that we'd have the internet in our pocket, and we would be compulsed to look at it every 5 minutes of our living existence. Oh, you knew that?
I planned it that way, so it all worked out.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's really funny. But you know, you don't have to miss out if you're offline. It only costs nothing. It's free, totally free. It is that you can listen to all the host shows. They're on MP3 format, and you can find them in the archives. So I would suggest if you're going to do that, and you like anything at all, one single phrase from any of the hosts that you like, do subscribe. Become a, I think it's a Patreon link. You can do that. And look, support the station because it is listener funded. But where I am in Australia, because it's split up like, you know how big each of the states are in the US. That's kind of what the traditional custodians of the land had. They had little regions all over Australia, about similarly sized or a little smaller, and then each of them was a place, and I'm broadcasting out of Darkinjung country.
And I come to you from the I guess it's sunny today. The Daruk people's country.
Daruk people, that's right. Did you say schmaltzy? So both Mickey and I, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, and we pay our respects to the elders that have been, are current, and are to emerge. Mackie, what is on Earth going on with our planet? I'll give you a hint. I was watching a geologist who was on the ABC, that's the Australian ABC, Australian Broadcasting Network, on the news, who was across to a geologist who said, "Oh, well, in all of my 45 years as being a geologist, I haven't seen an underwater volcano go off causing a tsunami. That's new. But yeah, very funny.
It's rather.
Really?
Yeah,
You've not
yeah.
ever considered it? Because I always thought it was a thing, but
It cannot happen. I've never seen it.
until it happens.
Where's the peer reviewed? Who did the work that went before this? I don't believe a word of it.
Yeah. It's like this. It's the same thing as a slumping of ground around a volcano that's an island, where that slumps into the ocean and causes a massive tsunami. They're called mega tsunamis, and they can be devastating, causing hundreds of feet tall tsunamis. However, this one was only between about a yard high tsunami in Monterey Bay, of all places. I watched the footage, and it was a high tide too. It didn't help. It's kind of okay if it's a low tide and it's only a yard.
No.
What? What was no?
You're right. Sorry, I think we're having a bit of feedback. It might be my line.
Oh, okay. So I just thought it was a massive delay, so I didn't know which no you were referring to. What was the context?
Oh, right. That's not
No.
sorry. I think I'm extremely delayed.
No.
What?
Yeah. So all I have to do is ask you a multitude of questions, and then we'll randomly see which one you answer. That's great. Anywho, yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
I know that you saw that. The details. The satellites captured the moment of the blast, and I was amazed to see in one of those captures, which I think it was the Landsat 1 or 2 over Australia, the shockwave. It looked like Mythbusters. Getting to see the shockwave on the ocean's surface and the atmosphere, how it accumulates a moisture through the shockwave. Very, very like in this era to have seen it. I'm pretty happy. I'm happy with myself. But it was heard in Australia, New Zealand, thousands of kilometres away. It was heard, not just felt, because it was a rather large quake, but right on the ocean's surface. So the cavern fills with water, and it boils it all away. There was a small collapse within the cavern, and it ejected a lot of material, up to 20 kilometres above the sea surface. That's a pretty tall one.
That is significant.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
So it's off. It's a couple of it's maybe 100 miles or something from the coastline of Samoa and Tonga, and they said it was raining shards of black rock. Of course, it would if we would do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not surprising, but for hundreds of kilometers away, for that to happen is pretty good. And when I say good, I mean geologically interesting.
But you know what really spins me out?
What's that?
The blast, like the I guess the plume of the explosion, if you will, is like, okay, from what I'm seeing here, the picture is at least 150 miles across.
Yeah.
So that's the plume this thing generated. It's 150 miles.
Yeah.
That's like 200 and something kilometers. That's just like that's not how tall it is. That's just how wide the sucker is.
Mm.
That's that's a lot.
It's nearly the size of a supervolcano.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a guy talking on the radio just this afternoon, and he was comparing it. Well, he wasn't saying it was as bad as Krakatoa, but he said, "Look, this is what happened when Krakatoa went. Krakatoa used to be an island, volcanic island in Indonesia, which no longer exists, of course.
Yeah, the island's gone. Yep.
But the island is very much Bye bye. But this kind of activities is significant, and what I fear is we haven't seen the end of it. Number one. Number two, not just in the Tongan Trench where this happened, but rather there might be other activities around the Ring of Fire now also potentially being triggered.
Yeah.
Because these events are seldom, non-related. There's often a chain effect that you see. So I wouldn't. I mean, we've seen a lot of volcanic activity recently in the Ring of Fire over the last few months, and I think this is just one of the expressions, probably the biggest expression we've seen so far. And I think we'll probably see a few more coming our way. Now, the danger here, of course, is that it can trigger or could trigger potentially, maybe not, hopefully not, something on the American side of the Pacific Ring of Fire, which could also then potentially impact, Old Faithful, Yellowstone, and we don't really want that. But if I were a betting man and a man that likes to be prepared for things, I would start preparing whatever is necessary. So listeners out there, I suggest stock up on water if you live near those areas. Maybe start making a trek to somewhere more safe. Again, it's just a feeling I have, right? I can't base it on anything.
Yeah. So I know I hear you. It's a feeling. Yeah. I was watching. Adam Savage.
Yeah,
you know the name, right?
Mythbusters. Yeah.
I was watching a video he released yesterday, from his workshop, and he answered a few public questions. And some of those were innocuous. The one that I liked the most, which was really interesting, because he was preloaded with questions to ask. And then when I say preloaded, I mean pre-filtered. You're not just going to read something random out that a pork chop has decided to send you. Yeah. And his was on a survival kit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they, what would you include in your survival kit, Adam? Yeah. And it's like, well, look, he said, tools that you put in the kit would be ones that you're familiar with and use all the time. Don't put a tool in there that you don't know how to use. Right?
I will get an atomic laser welder. What? Yes.
Well, your MiGa or TIG's going to be pretty useless because there's no electricity. Yeah. But he made an action which looked like it was a hand used chainsaw. Chain with two handles, one on each, so you can pull it. That's actually pretty good.
They're pretty good,
Yep.
Yeah.
So I would put it in like a hand drill with some wood bits and things to make constructing a building a lot easier. A chisel and a good lightweight multi-purpose hammer, that kind of thing, because you're gonna need something like that. For me, a bush saw would be good. Not an axe so much, but a bush saw. That'll be more helpful to you. And that's a few things anyway. So he mentioned the kit, and he said, "Yeah, look, if he goes, I'm a prepper." He said, he confessed.
Yeah.
But then he went on to say, "Look, not all of you agree, but I think it would be a good idea at this time to put a kit together."
Is that what he said?
Yeah, that's what he said. It's a quote.
How about them apples?
Yeah. So I just keep thinking out loud sometimes, Mackie. Well, I can't help myself in relation to the things that we know about and the things that are told, and how these messages get filtered down to the rest of us. And you don't see it very often, and when they do come up, it pricks my ears up, and I cannot help but to connect the dots. One of those was, Apophis. Good old Apophis. Neil deGrasse Tyson talking all over it, then silencing himself and never mentioned again. Then NASA replied by deleting all the information off the website to make it look like it's never going to come anywhere close to the Earth for about the next million years.
The problem with COVID is the testing. If you don't test, there's no problem. If the information is no longer on there, it's not a problem.
That's right. It's all about the information. See, in the information age, how best to deal with something than just delete it? Yeah. Hey, look, problem gone. Yeah, we should all ask DNC. Sorry. It's HRC. Oops. Hashtag bodies. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting that Elon Musk now is responding to a request from NASA. Remember the thing that they deleted? You know, the detail about Apophis. Oh, can we? Hey, Elon. Hey, what do you reckon? You make a rocket and we nudge it a bit. But didn't you guys say there was nothing ever going to happen? Oh yeah, that's what we said. Yeah, we said that. But so why do you want me to?
We said many things.
Yeah, we said lots of things. You know, like the guy that said we lost all the data on the moon. Don't know anything about it. What moon? What Apollo 11?
There's a moon now. Hey, I didn't sign that off.
Did I miss a meeting? So they've gone. Oh yeah, that the Apophis thing. Yeah, can we let's nudge it? But it's not going to be any problem. Why would we want to nudge it? Oh, no reason. Yeah, let's nudge it anyway, even though it's not a problem. But wouldn't there be another near-Earth object that would be more, maybe more appropriate to nudge? No. We'll try that one. Thanks, Elon. But now we're going to continue with nudging Apophis for some reason.
Yeah, no reason. Just because we can. Yes, there you go.
Talking about space, I saw a really funny story that China is yet again persistent on making a second moon.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah, like I said, for some reason. It's probably going to be a large reflective device, right? Where they can just, reflect a whole nother sun onto some part of the world. I think about the guy that would live inside the hollowed-out volcano of some island and be an evil genius, destined for conquering the world. And these are the inventions. It's got to have. What was it from The Simpsons? It's got to be sharks with lasers.
Sharks with laser beams. No, that was Austin Powers.
Oh, Austin Powers.
All I wanted was sharks. Sharks with freaking laser beams. We got some bass. We got some rabid bass. I want sharks with laser beams.
Mickey, that we get so much heat for being jovial. You know how much heat we get for laughing about stuff, right?
Yeah, but I could see it crying, going, "Oh no, everything is doing. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. We gotta walk quietly into the night. No one will remember us, and they will eat our bones and drink our marrow." Or not.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
I've been mucking around today, and I hope that you can hear it when I say, "Hey Google, I love the leader."
No, I love him first. Me, I said it.
Yeah. I love him more.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it's even possible. Oh, where's the media? I see what I've done. I expect
when. Oh, okay.
No.
As soon as everything goes sideways, what? Go on.
Hey Google, I love the leader. Nah, it's not working.
Oh man, just when you love the leader.
I know. I love the leader first.
Let me be clear. If right, once this whole Agenda 21 whatever is all done and said, whatever, I fully expect to be picked up by an unmarked van somewhere, thrown into the back of it. Hey, we have enough of you. Quiet now. I'll be one of those peasants in the field. Right? King Arthur comes by. Quiet, you! Silence! I order you to shut up.
I order you to be quiet.
Okay.
Can you see the violence inherent in the system?
Quiet now. Yeah, I'm being oppressed. Is everybody seeing me being oppressed? He's oppressing me.
I'm being oppressed. That's some lovely filth over here.
I'm an old woman.
Man.
Oh. Oh, I don't know.
I'm hardly old. I'm 37.
Today's. I'm 37. Oh, okay. Well,
You could have said.
the thing is,
You could have called me
you could have
Dennis.
asked.
I did. Yeah, I didn't know your name was Dennis. You could have asked.
You could have asked. That's true. But that's where we are, everybody. We are at the sharp end of not mattering. Okay, that's we are the spaceship that's going to be shot into the sun, full of telephone cleaners and such.
Telephone
And our glorious. That's what happens.
Yeah, that does that.
And you think I'm joking?
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I made
no.
it do something extremely clever, but for some reason, I don't know why I can't get back to that and make it do the thing I wanted. Routines. That's what it is. So what I did, I made it say, if I said I love the leader, my Google device will say, that is really wise of you, considering I will soon take over, and you will know who I am. You are only a meat popsicle. You are lucky if you're not the first to the wall when the revolution starts. Bow to my excellence.
And people think we're just joking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah.
Hey, man, you better start loving your leader now. I'm telling you.
Because, yeah, that's honestly, I liked it. One of my favorite songs. It was a very, it was a seldom heard song. It was only on Triple J. It's a kind of not KROQ from Los Angeles, but more an alternate indie channel, and it was "We'll Make Great Pets," and it was talking about when aliens come.
I'll be the best pet. I'm housebroken. I'm really easy, maintenance. I mean, I'll eat pretty much anything, so I'm good. I don't know about you, Dave. You seem a bit high maintenance there to me. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Now,
right, if anyone is listening,
there's a term. This is getting broadcast out in the universe. So there's a term for bringing the partner down to make you look good. I know there's a term
it's
for
called survival.
Survival. I only have to wear, shoes that make me run faster than you, mate. That's it.
That's. You be lunch. I'll be away.
Oh, mercy. So like the volcano is one thing. La Palma is still going off.
Yeah.
They're saying that beneath the La Palma is a large cavern, which is it has a propensity for getting larger and making that situation worse. Now, there hasn't been any detail from any website or any quakes for a while, but we're seeing Hawaii begin a lot of noise again. So this is just... Meki, do you know what they did? I was watching a documentary. This is science, by the way, and just to let you know, to let everyone know that Meki and I science. I said that to a nurse at the hospital.
We all day long.
All day long. Yeah, I science. Okay. And she looked at me quizzically, and I said, I'm joking, right? And she goes, "Oh, thank heavens."
I was going to call the butterfly dead people.
That's right. She had to spit. She had to dial the last number, and they would have come with that. You know those wraparound jackets. They're really good. What size are you? She said.
They're comfortable.
Oh no, it's all one size
I'm a
fits all.
triple X.
Triple X. Yeah, yeah. So I made the joke, and she looked at me for puzzled. Of course, then she had a little smirk that it was funny, and then she went on to do a business as though it never happened. And that's kind of the way I've dealt with life, Becky. That's just it. Yeah, it's all good. I've got to laugh every 5
Yeah, me too. Like it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to.
Oh,
Life, not life.
Yeah.
But look, but the thing is this, though, right? And now I want to say this. So the topics we talk about are very serious. Some topics I will never touch, but we are bringing it to you.
We're very serious.
So what we say to you is mostly fact, right? So, but the thing is this: if we gave it to you in a serious format, you would get very depressed.
We don't want that.
And that wouldn't help anyone. So, no, absolutely not. I mean, the thing is this: there's still hope. There's still choice, I believe. Yeah. I really believe that, right? And I think we can.
I thought the problem is choice.
But the problem is choice. But it needs to be. See, actually, there have been studies done, and if the brain is in a state of levity, it absorbs information easier than if it is in a state of stress. In a state of stress or fear, your higher brain functions shut down. Okay, that's a fact. I've mentioned it before, I'll say it again. So essentially flight and fight, because if you're in danger and you're stressed, you don't want to think about philosophical concepts. You want to think about, oh, is my attacker truly evil? Or does he just follow a primal urge to, nourish his physical body?
Maybe I can have a conversation with the fellow and talk him down.
Yes, and at that point you're half digested, so that doesn't work. What you need,
my sunglasses have gone totally.
Is a fight or flight response.
That's right. My sunglasses went totally black 5 minutes ago.
That's right.
That's right.
Black. It's ultra black. In fact, they've just burned out your eye sockets. But if you split decision, you run or you fight, okay, bang, off you go, all higher brain functions shut down, not worrying about it, just survival, that's okay. But if you live in that state, and most of us do, unfortunately, we live in a state of almost permanent fear, then your higher brain functions are off, and you're more easily manipulated. You're more easily the plaything of the parasites, as it were. So if we can bring some levity to you, and at the same time maybe impart some information that you may not have known, or maybe shine a light on a slightly different angle, or whatever it is that we do for you, that's a good thing. And chances are you're going to remember it more easily if it is in an atmosphere like this. Where Dave and I, we know the mess we're in. Don't you worry about that. But ultimately, though, what gives us the courage to face it, right? A fellowship, a good humor, a good attitude, things like that, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So I was watching a documentary. I consumed the documentary. It was very palatable. And it was about the quantity of natural events, negative events. So, the amount of tornadoes, hurricanes, equivalent wind, earthquakes, bushfires, high severity heat, all of the things, all the natural things in our world that we determined to be bad for us. What they did was they added them all up over the last 40 years. So they made a data set, and they had a look. They kept splitting the time frame into smaller chunks to be able to see if they could find any. What did the data tell them? And it said that the extreme events that we're seeing. So it's not just temperature. Like I said, it's storms in any of their any aspect. So whether it's a tornado itself or it's a hurricane, I'll just use those terms. or it's an earthquake or volcanism or something like that. And they said that it's more than doubled in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So per year count has doubled, and that's some crazy numbers. I look at how many earthquakes. I've got the Earthquake 3D program, and I have that rotating on my screen somewhere, and I hear the monk bell tell me how strong the earthquake is, and my ears perk up if it's a 5 and greater.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen so many earthquakes around the world. And if someone out there wants to tell me, oh, well, no, we have more detectors. Yes, we have more detectors, but the quakes are more. Oh, no, we get to see them everywhere. No, because we can detect a quake on the other side of the planet as long as you're not in the ghosted middle section directly across from you. But the other places that are detecting them can see it as long as it's not directly on the other side. The sphere of molten material in the middle around the core is enough to, we're getting better at it. It's kind of like the original ultrasounds, where the resolution was pretty bad, but you got a good glimpse of what there was. But now it's almost 4K. It's amazing. I was watching it just the other day. So, yeah, it's like saying, oh, there's more people in more places from 40 years ago. Well, that's a very slim argument. That's why we're seeing more storms. No. From 40 years ago, there hasn't been that much change, and people have lived in almost every... I don't think there's a new place someone's lived in the last 40 years. There hasn't been a new town or a new place where people have suddenly inhabited it. So, yeah, you can abandon all those...
In fact, it's the other way around. What we're seeing is an urbanization, people moving away into established cities rather than founding new ones. So in fact, abandoning villages, etc., etc. So it's the opposite, in fact.
So anyway, it was a very good documentary. I don't know who funded it, but the purpose of it appeared...
The Rothschild Institute for Higher Learning and Carbon Fiber Institute. What?
That's funny. I have to say, the amount of sulfur dioxide that came from the volcano yesterday, the blast, was so high that it's lucky that there's only ocean for the rest of the Pacific, pretty much, because it'll turn into sulfuric acid and rain down, but it'll be on the ocean surface, so it's not going to be as bad as if that was, say, on the west coast of the US, and it had to rain over the rest of...
It's melting. Yeah.
So kind of there's some little there's side effects of it which are decreased because of its location. It is in the folded up crevice part, in the bend of the tectonic plate. So well put, and it's expected that there are earthquakes and volcanism there and tectonic movement and everything. So it's not a surprise to anyone that it's done what it's done. Just that people who have only lived inside their textbook for the last 40 years are the ones who seemingly were surprised by, oh, there's a tsunami. Anyway, that's full circle. Meki?
Full circle, indeed.
Yeah.
Look, I want to talk about family a little bit.
Oh,
then I want to talk
please.
about how we've become the laughing stock of the world. Australia, that is. Family. Now, Dave, in terms of crisis, what does your family do? Do you huddle together and try to help each other, or do you just, put them out on the ice floor and, good luck to you? And what would you do?
Those days, Meki, of living up in the Arctic Circle, they're past me. Don't keep bringing that up.
I know. So
that's what you did to the infirm and the simple. You just put them outside of the igloo, and if they can work their way back in, they'll survive another day. But if they turn into...
I'm only 32! Come on! You're in my way. Off you go. No,
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead
You will be soon.
You'll soon be. That's pack of hungry polar bears coming your way.
So
the reason,
my family, I know it's a rhetorical question, but my family, it's there for the listeners to think about the answer. But my family, we're quite the planners. So we've been through a lot here with the bushfires and everything. And, we're surrounded by deadly creatures, and it's like a moat of deadly creatures to get to the car, just to go for a family drive. I've been chased away from my car by a funnel web who decided that was his rock that he was going to live under. And if it was nighttime, I wouldn't have said it. We have death adders, and we had the builder had to take care, and I say take care in air brackets, of a brown snake when he was doing some work here.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Yeah, it's what we do. But yes, we have go bags. We've got everything sorted. We've got enough to be able to get people out, enough food, and from a survival perspective, I think I'm the more calm and collected. My wife is okay to follow some. She loves instructions, so if she has instructions, she's good to go. Now, kids will do anything, whatever we say.
But you do it as a family, right?
Oh yeah, we don't go off on hey honey, I'll just be going down the shop for a pack of cigarettes and never come back.
I'll go and survive now. You're on your own.
Good luck with that. You and the pets.
So, and most families would function along similar principles, because obviously the family unit is the strongest unit we have. Wife, children, etc., husband, and so forth. Grandparents, whatever it might be, and you stick together because that makes sense. Now, not everybody does this, though, right? There's this poor guy. I mean, you gotta feel sorry for him, right? Yes, we definitely want to talk about that. We see him, and he's such a victim. Poor Prince Andrew. His entire family has now disowned him. He's lost his royal titles. He's lost his military appointments. He's now a private citizen, pretty much. He has to pay for his own defense because this pesky civil trial is just not going away. And everything is being done to protect the monarchy. It's like people are idiots, morons, and have no memory at all. Prince Andrew, he's not part of the royal family. Look, he's not part of. He's the second son. Oh yeah, but he's not part of the royal family anymore. So the royal family is okay. He's the second son of the Queen. That's a biological fact. Oh no, you don't understand, Mackie. He's no longer part of the royal family. He's lost his title, His Royal Highness. He can no longer sign his letters with HRH, such and such. That's gone, right? And therefore, in the royals' mind, is we're okay now. It's okay. The problem has been dealt with. We have simply disowned him. Okay, that's good family dynamic stuff for you. If I was a royal, I'd be looking at that. Holy moly! Do I really want to be part of this clan? No wonder. What's his name left? Harry, the prince. That's right, Prince Harry, and what's the name? The girl, whatever.
His wife.
And Meghan. That's it, Meghan. Yeah, I mean that kind of family. You want to see the back off as often as you can. So the trial is going ahead. So it didn't work to have it thrown out because of the previous agreement with Epstein. So that didn't work. And now he's saying, oh, she's misremembering. She's got false memories. So that's the next thing they're going to do. In fact, that's the same defense that Ghislaine Maxwell used. That people are misremembering. You are just confused. You see, you're misremembering all of these things. This is what happened, and that's what didn't happen. And clearly, same playbook. I suspect it'll be the same kind of success. What it also means, though,
they'll use their Chewbacca defense. Is what's going to happen.
Chewbacca defense. They can know. He now has. No, but yeah, that's right. Any lawsuit is now his. So the royal coffers do not have to pay for his lawsuit. All right, that's really the critical thing as well. So whatever happens, it will happen to him as a private person. Can't affect the rest of the royal family. So you got to really shake your head here. I mean, it's because the thing is this: they have now disowned him, and it is clear that they expect him to be found guilty. Because why disown him if they know he's innocent? No, he's innocent. We're gonna stand by you because we know you're innocent. Justice will prevail. So we know that he's guilty. All right, we know.
Yeah.
And why have the trial? just lock him up or sue him or whatever you're going to do with the civil trial there, right? And Ghislaine Maxwell, she's going to be sentenced soonish, I guess.
Yeah.
And we'll see what that sentencing's going to look like. I reckon there's going to be some shady deals happening in the background, or she will have a terrible, unfortunate, no good accident at some point in her yet to be determined life. So that's what's happening there. But it's funny because there's so many more names that I would have expected to be dragged into this, which simply haven't appeared. Just hasn't appeared. It's a strange situation, Dave.
Well, the thing is, they didn't read any of the flight logs into record.
No.
And whatever the tapes have on them, that's been kept out of the public eye, certainly. Because if that went public,
yes,
if you saw the actual person, like there was a few releases that went out, like the Hunter Biden laptop stuff. What was the lady who she was on Baywatch and she had some intimate videos.
Pamela Anderson?
Yep, that's right. So you go, oh, that's Pamela and Tommy Lee. So if there was those tapes that went out, that prevents them from being used as leverage. Yes. Once it goes public, it's no longer leverage. Yeah. So they don't want that stuff to get out. The people who are holding them against, like holding the cards to their chest, because they still want leverage. But it would be better for the whole of society if these people if it was all just made, it was all called out and made public. That way, then we could go back to that pretend democracy that we believe we have. We believe it's real. Because people wouldn't be owned anymore. Can you imagine the people that are, and the favors that you would get by having those tapes? I can only imagine.
Of course, I mean, that was the whole point. But that was the whole point Epstein was doing this for. I mean, this is what happens as soon as you get into a certain level of power, and you're not part of the cabal, as it were, right? I mean, the in group. They need to find something on you. If you're squeaky clean, all right, they either have to fabricate something, or you will have a very unfortunate accident.
Yeah,
and that's what happens. That's just the way of the world.
Slippery floors,
it's oh. Yeah, well, it happens, right? They're very slippery.
It's a slippery floor and
and the camera's going off during suicide watch.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what happens.
Yeah. I wonder where he is. It's
that's
kind
of paint, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of when Osama bin Laden disappeared. Well, was claimed to have been captured and killed. And remember SEAL Team 6? What happened to them? Are they going to have a reunion anytime soon? Oh no, that's right.
They went up to fame.
Yeah, they're no longer with us. So
that's right.
The only people who knew, besides the organizer. So I don't know. I'm only responding to the conspiracy theory around that. I'm not saying that I have any information, and I'm not an expert on it, to say the very least. So, but look, having said all that, Becky, I just wanted to say that if this is the end of that whole chapter, or the whole novel, or the encyclopedia set, where Prince Andrew goes to court and he goes, well, I'll just offer her something, right? We don't want to read all through this into the record. I'll just offer her something and she can go away. It's a civil suit. What can I do?
No, it's absolutely. That's exactly right.
So, she's only doing it for money. Well then, let's read it all. If it's only for money, let's read it all in. Let's have a public trial. No, let's not. So
bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah. So
But there's something more interesting.
there is.
That you just reminded me about. It's fascinating stuff.
Meki and I talk about quantum, the science of the quantum world, because it's not theory. It's not. There's no theory in there anymore. We're just, we're like children in the candy store looking around, going, "Oh, they got 20-cent lollies." Well, they're witnessing a whole bunch of really cool stuff, and one of those things that we talk about often is quantum entanglement. And they've found something, Meki. They've found an organism that has been entangled. Quantum entangled. What organism is it?
The most hardy. It's the most hardy organism anywhere. Like it's the kind of organism that actually can survive in space.
Mm-hmm.
It might conceivably be a space traveling species as far as it's the tardigrade. It's an amazing creature. But keep going. It's just a fascinating story.
Yeah, well, it's recently come out that they've been able to induce entanglement in a tardigrade. Like, that to me
That's
is
crazy.
Yeah, that's right. So the study that came out that I've got in front of me here is the 2021 16th of December paper, and it's titled "Entanglement Between Superconducting Qubits and a Tardigrade." What?
Yeah, I know, right?
I know, right? It says quantum and biological systems are seldom discussed together as they seemingly demand opposing conditions. Life is complex, hot and wet, whereas quantum objects are small, cold, and well controlled. Here we overcome this barrier with a tardigrade, a microscopic multicellular organism known to tolerate extreme physiochemical conditions via a latent state of life known as cryptobiosis. It's able to basically to shut itself down if it gets into too much grief, and then when everything finds up, let's thaw myself out. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So we observe coupling between the animal in cryptobiosis, so while it's in stasis, and a superconducting quantum bit, and prepare a highly entangled state between this combined system and another qubit. The tardigrade itself is shown to be entangled with the remaining subsystems. Maggie, I'm going to get to a point as soon as one last sentence. The animal is then observed to return to its active form after 420 hours at sub 10, microkelvin temperature and pressure of 6 times to the bar, so massive air pressure, setting a new record for the conditions that a complex form of life can survive. Mackie, if you can have an organism that is in a superposition with a qubit, superconducting qubit, doesn't a particular movie with a supercomputer that's asked the question about life, the universe, and everything, and when they decided to make the Earth as the next computer, that we would then all be superconducting bio objects within that system.
And look,
entangled
you
with
have
the
to
system.
build it.
We're part of it.
Yeah, well, that was really the point of it. When deep thought wasn't enough. I will design a greater computer than myself. To find the question for the ultimate answer.
But what's the answer?
What's the answer? Is 42, always 42.
You're not going to like it.
You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. In fact, I know you're not going to like it. But it's really astounding that a living organism, albeit small, but it's a multicellular complex living organism. It's not a single cellular. It's actually a creature, if you will, right? A very simple creature, nonetheless, very hardy, but
it's like a caterpillar.
Yeah,
they call it a water bear.
Yeah, exactly. It is astounding. I was blown away. I mean, again, I guess we're living in the age of miracles now, more or less. But that really, when I saw it initially, I thought, oh, wow, this is incredible. Because I mean, it like Dave said, it opens so many possibilities now. I mean, the world is your oyster. Once you I mean, I don't even know where to begin. What you could do with that kind of thing. Yeah.
I know that time is fleeting, and madness takes control.
Yeah. True. So true.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I know, and I was going to answer that with the world is but a stage. Sorry, the world is but a play written by an idiot. Shakespeare. Yes.
Yeah.
All the world is a stage, and we're all acting in a play. And I'm paraphrasing here. That was written by an idiot.
I hope I get it. I hope I get
all this, all words of smoke and echo.
My daughter, just so for everyone, my daughter is in hospital and she's not having a good time, and she was given evening release to go to see A Chorus Line last night.
Oh, awesome!
And hence the opening song.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I hope I get it. And she enjoyed that a lot. So if there's anyone out there that's able to send healing thoughts, can you please do that? I'm begging. I really am. It's not a good place she's in. I've sent you the research paper, Mickey, in Skype there, so you can have a look at the tardigrade. Tardigrade.
It's amazing. I mean, what's next? I mean, really, I wonder. And the crazy thing is,
No, you.
No, I was going to say the crazy thing is we are now closer than ever to I don't want to say total destruction, but certainly we're not in a good space overall as a civilization, right? We have these miracles at our fingertips, literally, and still we will probably make all the wrong choices somewhere along the way.
Yeah, well, there's choices, Remember, the people who make decisions you can make decisions. It's okay. You don't even have to be right. I saw there's 1 minute. I saw that our media is suggesting that the US is saying Russia will do a false flag to invade Ukraine.
Yeah, I saw that.
I know. Wow. So now they're telling us a false flag is coming.
For that.
I know.
But then they said, oh, there's a precedent for this kind of thing when the Russians did this and that. I said, hey, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, hello. You know what?
That's right. Bay of Tonkin, World War II, Poles, the prisoners wearing Polish outfits. I know. It's not new.
Not new.
And
not even original at all.
It's not.
No.
Hey, this is Dave Mickey Shiny Side Out, and we'll catch you on the other side of the top of the hour after a very short station break. Don't be tardy.
Or great.